you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666.
Inferno greetings, everybody. It's Reverend Jack. And I come to you, and I know the big thing on the net today has been the death of Osama Bin Laden. It took 11 years to find them, and in 2005, George Bush Jr. was quoted as saying that he wasn't sure whether he was dead or alive. He wasn't the focus for him for anymore. And it was because George Bush couldn't do the job. I hate to say that an American president was not fit to be in that office, but George Bush Jr. was not fit because he threw temper tantrums and everything else, and he shut down the office that was dedicated to hunting Osama. But in 2011, 10 years after the travesty, those people that died from all the different countries, justice for them has finally been obtained. Hopefully, since the snake's head has been cut off, the snake itself, or Al-Qaeda, will cease and desist. It's a shame that a man has to die because of his actions, but his actions were deplorable. There's those of you that are going to tell me a conspiracy story, and then there's those that don't buy this conspiracy story. We all have our own opinions, but no matter whether it was a conspiracy or not, Osama was involved. I believe that George Bush Jr., because of using fear and using Osama's name to incite fear, lied and invaded Iraq when it wasn't necessary. Hell, we were even told there were Al-Qaeda bases there, and I haven't seen evidence of that either. But no longer can fascists like George Bush Jr., the Republican Party and the Tea Party, no longer can they use fear to scare your vote from you. It took Obama, who was focused on obtaining either the capture or the death of Osama Bin Laden, to get the job done. From when he campaigned, he said he would even go into Pakistan to get Osama. And what the fuck did he do? He went into Pakistan and he got Osama. There's going to be those who criticize the burial at sea. That was the best thing that could be done so that lunatics like him couldn't martyr him or couldn't build a shrine to him and murder more people in his name. Yes, there's going to be some repercussions by some wackos, but this is the time that I have to admit I'm proud to be an American. From day one, we set out to get him. In 2005, the president gave up. In 2011, a Democrat President Obama, who I'm very proud to say I voted for at this moment, got justice for over 2,000 people just for September the 11th, 2001, not including all the other atrocities that he headed. Hopefully, now that the head has been cut off the snake, and a lot of his leaders that cut off the shoulder of the snake, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully, now the brainwashing of the Al-Qaeda terrorists that had already been trained can happen. I'm not only proud to be an American, but I'm proud to be part of the human race. And we're all on this planet. What we have to remember is we have to live together on this planet, or else we all die. It's either work together or perish. And when people see the common sense in that, I've been watching for a long time, and most of the Islamic people don't hate the Americans or the United States. They don't like some of the things our government does, but then neither do we. Nobody likes everything their government does, and that goes for Islamic countries. But now, can we all just take them religious books and keep them on a bookshelf in your home and read them to yourself? Take them out of politics so that the hate that one religion has for another religion doesn't reenact a 2001 event, a bombing of embassies, or the bombing of plazas, or innocent civilians on both sides losing the future. The children. They're what's important. And every Palestinian children is just as important as any Israeli child, and the American child, and the Egyptian child. Children are children. They don't know that poison unless we put it in their heads. Now's the time that we have. We can take that time, since the head of one vicious snake has been severed. And there doesn't have to be reactions. The United States was due that justice. Not only was the United States due the justice, but every fucking country that had somebody die, including Muslims, in them Twin Towers on that fateful day. We can all come together and say, no, I don't like what you believe, but that is your belief. I'm not going to force that on you. Maybe now we can get out of Iraq and let Iraq run its own country. Yeah, they need a little more shoring up. They need a little more support, but we don't have to be there for decades. We don't have to be in Afghanistan for decades. In 2005, George Bush says, I don't know if he's alive or not, or living in a cave. Yet, he shuts down that office looking for him. And in 2005, $1 million compound is built within a walking distance of a Pakistani military academy that's equivalent to our West Point. I'm sorry, people in Pakistan, but your leaders drop the ball, or they're just morons. Because everybody knows that a government is going to know Who builds a $1 million compound within the walking distance of a military installation? So the Pakistani leaders had to know where he was. And they were smiling in our face, but they were taking money from Osama. Am I proud to say I voted for Obama? Whether he be black, purple, green, white, whatever. He got the job done. Do not allow Republicans to use fear to get votes. Don't allow them to scare you with their terrorism still goes on bullshit. Because there's always going to be terrorism until we all learn we have to share this earth together. And that if you must have a religion, keep it in your heart, keep it in your home, keep it out of politics. And you'll see we will all get along a hell of a lot fucking better. I would have only done one other thing to Osama than bury him at sea. Prior to weighting down his body, I would have sewn his body inside that of a pigskin because that's what he deserves. Do I have hate for Muslims? I have hate for terrorist Muslims. But I also have hate for Christian terrorists, which comes down to fundamentalists. And remember, you can't say the word fundamentalist without mental. Just like the Teabag Party. They're a bunch of wackos. I fear that they can cause more problems now, since our focus has been achieved and justice has been gotten. It's sad that one person had to lose his life, but Osama had no value for human life. So, really, I'm not saddened by his death. I am rejoicing in his death, since he was a terrorist. I've been asked a lot lately how I feel about the Israeli-Palestinian things. The Israelites demanded a country. They have one. Yet they deny the Gaza to the Palestinians to rule themselves in peace. So do I support a Palestinian state? If the Israelites were due a state, so are the Palestinians. And that just might reduce a lot of the tensions. After all, by both books, Jews and Arabs are basically related as cousins. So isn't it now time, since the hate, the huge hate that was a cancer on this planet has been eradicated, isn't it time we stick hands out across borders and we don't let religions rule our minds when it comes to politics? How about we treat each other as human beings? We all bleed when we're cut, and we bleed red. We all hurt, and we hurt for our children when something happens to them. And wars take so many young lives that it's time now that everybody, since this cancer has been eradicated, everybody reach across your border, shake hands and try to make peace with each other so we can all exist in peace. The same year a Republican gives up a compound is built. And I personally believe Bush knew where Osama was all along. He just used Osama and Al-Qaeda to get votes by inducing fear upon each and every one of us. But those days are over. It is a new world. And as a new world, why can't we restructure the new world on the basis of being human beings instead of the basis what I believe or what somebody else believes in a religion? And not a one religion has a right to force its way on others. If people want to accept it, fine. If not, you have no business forcing it. And that seems to be the big deal with Christianity and Islam. A lot of the big hate-monger Christians have died off and are slowly dying off. So there goes a lot of hate. Osama has been killed. There goes a lot of hate. It's time for us to begin to trust each other again as human beings. We don't need guns to make peace. We need people to make the peace. President Obama and those servicemen that pulled off that raid, you make me proud to say I'm an American. So until the next time, let's have some peace. Yes, we need to be on our guard because there's still some nuts that are going to try to gain revenge when they're not due revenge. Those 2,000 people were due revenge. All the embassies and other things that the Al-Qaeda has blown up. Those people screamed for vengeance. And it was time for Osama to pay his bill and settle in with karma. So it's done. That chapter is gone. Now what are we going to do with the new chapter? Are we going to let it continue? Or are we going to look at each other as human beings and attempt to be friends? That's the only way this world's going to survive. Man's pretty much destroyed it. And if we want to do anything to try to save it, we're going to have to do it working together, shoulder to shoulder. So the racism's going to have to quit and all this so that we can all work together. Yes, there's going to be distrust for a while, but it must end somewhere, or mankind shall suffer the fate of the 5 mass extinctions prior to us crawling down from the trees. So let us all, at this point, attempt to put the books away. Keep the religion where it belongs, in your home, and be human beings as the world once was. So until the next time, this is hurting me a lot to sit here and make this, but I felt strongly enough I had to speak out that I just came in to do this video. It was one that I felt absolutely had to be done. So until the next time, hails to the President, hails to those brave men and women that are on the battlefields and that brought justice to a hate and a terror monger named Osama. And may we build from here on as humans instead of religions. Hail Satan, hail thyself, blessed be. This video will be open for any and all comments. However, if you make rude, obnoxious comments, they will be deleted. So be forewarned. This is one time free speech to everybody will be afforded. Normally I don't allow those that don't allow me free speech, but I will. So Christian, Muslim, pagan, I don't care what you believe in as a religion. Feel free to comment. But be warned, if it's obnoxious, it goes bye-bye.
I was born ready, motherfucker. Yo. It's the feast of the blood was sent. Unleash the beast within. I walk around with the strength of 100 men. You best learn right before I count to 10. Blood dripping from my canine like a fountain pen. I was born ready, motherfucker.